President Obama declares Ebola a top national security priority. He announced new plans to contain the virus. They include more passenger screenings at airports both here and abroad.
That word comes as Ebola is being contracted outside of West Africa for the first time. A nurse in Spain got infected after treating a priest in that country. An ambulance took her to a Madrid hospital. Her husband is also quarantined this morning. Two others who had contact with the nurse are also being monitored. And in Dallas, doctors are giving Ebola victim Thomas Duncan a new drug. Manuel Bojorquez is at the hospital with the experimental treatment. Manuel, good morning.
Good morning. That experimental drug is called brincidofovir. It's been used before against smallpox and adenovirus. But Duncan's treatment here will be the drug's first test against Ebola in humans.
I can't answer whether if he would have taken that experimental medicine earlier or not would have made a difference. I can't answer that.
Health officials in Texas are hoping the experimental drug brincidofovir will help Thomas Eric Duncan recover. He remains in isolation at Texas Health Presbyterian in critical condition. Some good news, none of the people who are being monitored because they had contact with Duncan has shown any signs of illness.
We've got 0 symptoms, out there. 0.
Officials are cautiously optimistic, knowing this is only the midway point. The disease has a 21-day maximum incubation period.
I think this is a very important week. We need to be prepared in Dallas for what could happen.
Governor Rick Perry used his executive powers to create an infectious disease task force.
This team will develop a comprehensive, long-term plan to ensure that Texas deals effectively with any potential outbreak.
More than 600 miles away, the American journalist who contracted the Ebola virus in Liberia, Ashoka Mukpo, arrived in Nebraska for treatment at a special biocontainment facility. His father, who is himself a doctor, said his son didn't know for sure how he got sick.
He does remember one instance where he was helping spray wash a vehicle with chlorine, and he thinks he might have been splashed, but honestly, he's not exactly certain.
Here in Dallas, a hazmat crew has now completed a second phase of decontamination at the apartment Duncan shared with 4 family members. Officials say the patient's personal items have now been destroyed. Charlie?
Manuel, thanks. President Obama is calling on other nations to step up their fight against Ebola, but he says the chances of an epidemic here are, quote, extremely low.
We are familiar with the protocols that are needed to isolate and greatly reduce the risks of anybody catching this disease, but it requires us to follow those protocols strictly, and that's exactly what we are in the process of doing.